Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Will. I'm the project manager for this framework. And first of all, I just want to thank you guys for joining this meeting. And thank you so much for the interest in contributing. So first of all, I would love to take a minute to share some resources with you and make sure that we're all on the same page. So first of all, we have a resources doc right here. And then in the doc, I would love to go over the resources that we have in the doc. So if you're not familiar with the framework 1.0, we have the link right here. It goes to this page, so you can download the framework and then know more about our previous version. And then we also have the kickoff session recording and the feedback right here. If you haven't if you haven't had a chance to join the kickoff session. So more importantly, I would love to point out the master Excel sheet right here. Um, so this sheet is for us to um, indicate our area of interest. So you can comment your interest in the corresponding functions right here, just like Kavya did right here. And thank you so much, Kavya, for contributing to this function. And then you can also, if you have a specific control items that you want to contribute, you can also just comment right here next to each of the control items. And I also want to point out that we are only giving comment access to you guys because we don't really want someone unintentionally change the content right here, because the content right here is really important. um, yeah, and if you guys have any questions regarding the Excel sheet, feel free to email me and or Kavya. And then we also have a master PDF document right here where we have all the details, executive summaries and all the details of each function and control items. Um, you can also comment your name in the area in the doc, your name and email address that you are interested in contributing right here in the doc. So just to summary, you can contribute, you can comment your name and email address in this Excel sheet or in this master doc. And all of those documents is in the resources doc. And then I also want to urge you guys to um, subscribe to our calendar to see all the events, and in case that you guys don't really miss any important events and meetings, and also join the Signal group chat with the link right here. What else? Oh, right. And we have a knowledge base. So I really encourage you guys to put the resources and articles and or research that you guys think will be helpful to this framework into this knowledge base, just like someone else did right here. And yeah, that's it. I'll pass to Kavya for the general outline of this meeting.
Thank you, Will. And I'm going to share my screen then. Okay. So what Will just shared with you is just, resources, and you can always reach out to Will at xrsi.org. One thing I want to say is we will not be sending out any invites. You have to subscribe to the Google Calendar and you have to stay up to date. So this is seriously for passionate people, for commitment. So you have to be committed to this effort. So I would urge you, just add this G calendar to your email, to your Google Calendar, and then you should be fine. Let's begin today with this particular. So let me just go back here. I don't think we missed anything. Um, so we've prepared this sort of a general outline for this first week. Today, this meeting is in the EU friendly time zone. Then we have a repeat session in the US friendly time zone that will be led by Dennis Bonilla, who is the co-chair of this working group. And that meeting invite and details are also listed in the Google Calendar. So this week, what we're doing is we're taking the time to be critical about the approach, about the outline, what are the contents in there, what should be deleted, what should not be deleted. So far, the deleted items, and you can take your time all the way up to, let's say, Friday night. Is that what we said, Will? We said Friday night is the deadline to,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Friday night.
Yeah, so Friday night is the deadline to indicate your interest to the corresponding areas, because we have to then divide everything in the groups. Another thing that Friday night, the outline is for this Google form that we just created, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So this general outline is available in the knowledge base, again, in that over resource list. So let's talk about the items that we need to delete. And I'm just going to be very conscious of the time because we need to do this very quickly. So far, if we look at and let me go back to the master sheet here. So if we look at the master sheet, so far people have indicated just 2 controls that must be deleted in this particular master sheet, these 2, because they are a repeat. So what I will do now is I will go ahead and potentially flag them as to be deleted. I'm not going to delete them live just so I don't mess up any formatting. But yeah, they're already flagged for deletion. So if you identify anything that needs to be deleted, please comment and then we can take care of that. Or you can just even email Will or Slack him. So, or you can copy that stuff over to here. We would take care of it. Next, let's go back. Safety controls that needs to be added to the framework. Some items may be missing. There are few things that we are bringing over from our previous version 1.0. We put that in our roadmap. So geolocation, geoprivacy, that's missing. As soon as you highlight a missing control, what we will do is we'll find a place, which particular focus area does it belong to. And if you can also indicate that, that would be awesome. So let's say you find a control, let's say child safety related control. Maybe, and let me minimize this. Let's say if age appropriate design was missing, although I don't think that's missing, but let me check. Age appropriate, right here. So it says age appropriate contents, but I'm not sure if age appropriate design is there or not. Just yesterday, I was speaking with somebody who has prepared this particular aspect, and it just got released, was the age appropriate design. So these are the fun parts of our conversation, is when you get to know the best and the latest knowledge available. This is the very first time any regulatory authority has curated age-appropriate design. What I'm pointing out is the geolocation data, but I think let's search it. Age-appropriate design, the code of practice online. So all of this information has just been curated. And what I anticipate is a lot of these other regulatory authorities are going to take information from here. So perhaps it would make sense that we start thinking about age appropriate design and make it a part of our conversation. So what then I will suggest is we should make that a part of our age appropriate design. Child safety. So whatever recommendation that you want to make, go for it, and we'll incorporate that. So far, standardization of symbiotic symbols, adoption, and this is all coming from, all these things are coming from our roadmap. We actually claimed that in the next iteration, we'll do that. Another work, analysis of dark patterns and its impact on the spatial computing. I don't know where it belongs. I have to ask Noble at some point where it belongs, because, or all of you can suggest where it should be housed within the master document. So we'll do that. Okay, go back again to the top. So these are the things that needs to be added. Approach that needs to be incorporated. So we adopted this sort of a NIST tiered approach. maybe there is something that we didn't think about, especially when you look at the PDF. Maybe there is, we need to separate these two or combine these two. We took a voting in the kickoff meeting where we were talking about should we separate AR, VR versus XR. So this is the week to think about, this is the time to think about whether we want to change it or not. And after this, we can, of course, make changes, but we would try not to make too many changes that could, hinder our work, or we would have to redo everything. Approach that needs to be incorporated. Currently, it's empty. So if you have suggestions, you can go there. There is another place where people made a lot of comments. Let me not go back here. Oh yeah, I remember where I put all those comments. So other suggestions and feedback. This is where some people have been giving us direct comments. So we're curating it here. This is all coming from email, and line by line item, we're going to respond to each and everything. If you have suggestion, or if you want to own any of these items, then you're welcome to, just comment or just write down, hey, a response from whatever your name is, and this is the way it should be, and then we'll read it and we will evaluate it. There are many suggestions that are coming through. Didier from Georgia Tech University has been sending many comments. Other people have been sending many comments about schema and everything. So this is all good stuff that is getting curated. I would encourage you to continue doing that. So let's see, areas and technologies that are currently missing. So during the kickoff, some of the areas and technologies that people suggested, we put it here. So let's go to what within this particular document, there is the kickoff chat. So if you want to see where all the people were from, at least the ones that took the time to put that in the chat box, we sort of curated that. So there are people from all over the world that showed up, and aspects of technology, methodology, and areas that people wanted to have this framework, we should include this. They highlighted that. Then they also asked a few questions.
Hey guys, sorry I'm a bit late. Hi.
Hey Mookie. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
So they also asked a few questions. Could we consider same product, open data? One of the questions that I want to answer is, might we get a Slack invite link for everyone? So I know we've created a Signal link. If I may just get a quick poll from this crowd. And I am doing this the first time, and that too live. Do you know, Richard, how to do this poll, or shall I skip it for now? Or maybe we can just like raise our hands here because I can see.
I'll do a quick poll for you. I can't speak because I just put a lot of chocolate in. It's pretty bad timing, to be honest.
Okay. Let me ask a question, because I really just want to ask a question. Add a question. Where do I add it? Come on. It just won't give me any place to add this question. Edit.
Yeah, polls are locked for me. Looks like only you've got access, but
okay. Well, never mind. If I may, I'm going to put my visual on a grid. If we could just like use the emoji that are right next to, do we have emojis here? Oh my God, this looks very different than I'm used to.
No, but I could put funky 3D glasses on my face.
You could? There you go. No. So, okay, let's skip this. We'll take that into consideration. But do people really want access to XRSI Slack channel? We can make that available if you really want it. So please let me know. Let me go back to this feedback form. So that's one thing that I wanted to answer. We've got 10 minutes left. There are many comments here that, of course, we would incorporate. These are all coming directly from the chat. There were resources here. So what we'll do is we'll move these resources into our knowledge base. This is just, move it as in just copy it over, because these are resources that people put it in the chat. Cool. So let's go to the feedback form. No, this week one outline again. If you go at the top, within this outline, there is a survey. This is the week one survey. If you go to this survey form, it will ask you, and we do need the email address, of course. It will ask you, what is your main area of expertise? The reason why we are asking this is we're looking for subgroup leaders, because maybe your expertise is haptics and brain-computer interfaces. So please highlight that one key area that your expertise is in. It's not what you want it to be, it's what you really just know. And then you can specifically highlight, area that you specifically want to contribute. Maybe you want to contribute the AI and XR cross-section, maybe both. But I would really encourage you to stick to things that you're really, really interested in, passionate about, and that ways you'll stay committed, and that ways, you'll meet the like-minded people as well, because there's a lot here. And how do you eat an elephant? You just, basically divide it in a bunch of pieces. You have to chop it up. So let me see if I can get this correct.
Unless you're vegan or vegetarian, then
Yes.
that's
Then
really not applicable.
it's not. You're right. So security or cybersecurity. And I would love to contribute cybersecurity and XR. Yes, I would like to assume a role. Maybe I want to haptics, or BCI or something, cybersecurity. Next, then it also asks you, out of these 14 functions, where are these coming from? They are coming from right here. These functions, these are 14 of them. So I'm going to go back to my form, and I would like to work on data security. This is specifically I want to work on. At some point, we need to create a branch out the use cases. So if you are into medical XR or higher education, at some point we will divide it into use case specific. I don't know when. Maybe we won't do it this quarter, maybe we will, but it all depends on how much progress we make. Or if you just want to remain general, that's up to you. But I would like to contribute to medical XR because we have tremendous amount of interest as well as leads. So University of Michigan, Georgia Tech, University of New Haven have already taken the lead in this. So their researchers are already independently meeting, and at the end of their internal discussion, they deliver to us what they see appropriate level of understanding control items, and they still continue to come to these meetings as well. So I would like to think about like medical XR, for example. And then if you know someone that wants to be a part of this effort, could be a potential sponsor, could be a liaison. So for example, the woman that I just met yesterday, she's part of the, like ICO UK, and I have to thank you, Richard. I'm talking about Trish, and super helpful. And she wants to connect me to a whole lot of people. So this is a kind of a connection that we would really, really appreciate, because we really want to create adoption. And anything else that you want to do, you want to say, let's say yes, and just submit. So that's one thing that you could do this week. Let's go back to our outline. Did I lose it here? Yeah. So these
Navya?
are, yep, go ahead.
And Gandhar, can you speak a little bit more to those needs and how grand they are, and why you feel you need so many people, I mean, just to elaborate a little bit on that.
Diane, did you review the kickoff recording?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so within the kickoff recording, we did mention how we are going to work in phases. In March, we will conclude this framework, and then our objective is to share that with all possible governments and NGOs and academics, because we really want to create awareness around these privacy, safety concerns, as well as the cross-section of 5G, brain-computer interfaces, artificial intelligence. There's tons of AI ethics groups, but the issue in handling these technologies just in isolation is they are converging with other tech. And mainly what we call XR is extending reality. So when you are extending reality, and I would go as far as the Apple's headphones, those are augmented reality device, because you're augmenting sound. Whenever you augment something, that's an AR device. I consider that an AR device. So same thing with, you know, gloves. You have haptic gloves. I would call them a XR device, because there is the haptic. We're extending our perceived reality in some form, fashion, or manner, and that is converging with, you know, sensors, all these 5G specifically. So that's the reason why we want to reach out to all these governments, because they would inevitably run into challenges that will need their attention. You know, more specifically like child safety. For example, if virtual reality, you have kids in there, then the governments need to stay up to date, update their rules and regulations, and all of that cannot happen. And it cannot happen if they don't even know. And the people should not start this effort from scratch, because we're already working on it. So they can just take this effort and then, you know, use it in whatever shape or form they deem appropriate. Does that answer your question, Diane?
Yes and no. So it does. I mean, I think for that it does help. It's just that you know, some people are already working in that space already, and you can heard them on the call. And then some people, you know, it sounds like you're channeling this up for like the July time frame, and are trying to work its way up.
just to avoid everybody else's, just to, you know, save time for everybody else, what I would say, Diane, is I'm gonna put my Calendly link in the chat, and if you
Okay.
don't mind, set up a meeting with me and we can chat more about it, because it seems a one-off kind of a specific question. And
Yeah,
please.
I was just trying to understand the largest opportunity, because you're trying to, really where I was going with my question was, you know, you're trying to understand specifically people in specific areas, and I was just trying to figure out, I know eventually you'll get there when you kind of get up to the top, but and get all of this, you know, together, but I was just trying to figure out, you were identifying, because you were talking about specific opportunities within the universities, and if there was something there that felt like you needed help
Diane,
with.
there is 3 minutes left. I would really appreciate if I could just conclude this call, and
Okay.
we can please, you know,
Sure.
please, because what you're asking is very specific, and I'm happy to
Okay.
answer, but it does not benefit the group, because I've just made it very, very clear. This is our agenda, and many times, Mookie, do you want to speak to the time that you said, please delay it or change it? And I was like, we will not negotiate on this. This is non-negotiable, because here's something that I would like this group and everybody else to know. XRSI is positioned to receive a lot more information than anybody has in this domain. We receive information from big tech firms, and now even all the way to the governments. So it is rapid, things that are highly confidential sometimes. So many a times we will take firm stand, firm decisions that you may not comprehend, but that's the way it goes. And I hope, Mookie, thank you for being here. You can attest to that, that in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, it will all make sense. Maybe not today. So highly appreciate if you just trust our process, because we are ultimately a standard developing organization. We are trying to create standard processes that we can potentially repeat and then plug those into various governments. We're trying to create an ecosystem. Just yesterday, we talked to Women in Standards organization, and they're going to host all of this on their website. So lots of opportunities, but we have to trust the process. And I really, really appreciate it if you stick with that and read everything that we are sending you.
documents. I don't know if you saw them for structure around how to, do this just from what we did at the Smart City Symposium nonprofit work with NIST.
Right. And I would love to learn more about that as well, Diane. I think there is something that I can, probably take from there. So yeah, and I think that's pretty much all. I would conclude at this. Will, did I miss anything, or are we good for now?
I think
We're okay. So there is a repeat meeting that is happening in the US time zone. It's mentioned in the Google Calendar. And then there is a working session, which is an hour. We are going to meet every Friday for an hour, and we will work on things. We will not be answering that many questions. If you have questions, you email. If you're coming to a working session, let's get to work. We need to, look at some of the knowledge base or whatever we need to do. We need to work. We will choose a specific function. So for example, the next week's agenda is going to be risk assessment, or the very first one, which is, so next week we're meeting for risk assessment, and I anticipate the person who is going to lead that session is going to be Mark Limbeck, or at the very least, he's going to bring in some really awesome thoughts and whatnot. Dennis, anything else that you think I should mention here?
No, I think that was pretty rapid fire. The most important thing is, that resources document really kind of sets up what you should know within the framework. I think the most important thing this week is that everyone comment on the sections that they're interested in contributing in. That's the goal of this week. And then we'll have those breakout groups, or we'll have different SMEs within those different sections that we can start kind of formulating some plans to get to where we need to get to in the next 3 months.
And just as a takeaway, there are some critical deadlines as well. So we did the kickoff. Content curation is already, we've already started. So this whole quarter, we're just going to be at it. Resource doc is available for you. Chat is available. All of these things are available for you to just start working on. At the very minimum, I would say, hey, you see something really interesting article, just throw that in the knowledge base, and then we can synthesize that into what that means. So please help us out. Really appreciate it. And we're not taking questions now. I have to close this recording, and then if you want to stick around and ask me, like an informal question, I'm happy to, but I'm going to stop this recording.
Kavya.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to chip in. Hi, everybody. It's Mookie here. I've been working closely with Kava a year and a half now, probably.